Hey everyone, Cherie Warwick here, blackblockchainconsultants.com. Yes, you are getting the crazy video today. I am in my car and I bought this new mount and unfortunately it is not sitting right. So I got another one coming from Amazon, but until then, here we go. So we are on part 3 of 5 of our marketing series for the week. This is Blockchain Marketing Week in terms of how to build a 6-figure blockchain consulting business. And today I'm going to talk about networking and how to network and give you a couple of little things that I do that make a huge difference. I want to start off with a story. When I worked with my mother and her bookkeeping business years ago, I was her business development person. And networking really worked for us. We joined a group called BNI, which is Business Network International. We were part of the Chamber of Commerce. And one day, we went to I probably went to about 4 networking events a week, just very active. And one day, a woman runs up to us, my mother and I, who were going into a networking event together, and she says to my mother, "I know you. You're the QuickBooks lady." And I said at that point, wow, my job is done. Because I always tell you, it's not what you know and it's not who you know, it's who knows you and who knows what you do. And that woman running up to my mother saying, "Hey, you're the QuickBooks lady," that let me know that people knew Carolyn. That's my mother's name. People knew Carolyn. And people knew that Carolyn does QuickBooks, which is the name of the company. And now, it's many years that she's been in business, I think 14, 15 years now. The phone continues to ring because people know that Carolyn does QuickBooks. So, lesson number 1 is you want to be known for something. You want someone to run up to you and say, "Hey, I know you. You're Mary Jane, the blockchain and health person." Or, "I know you. You're Joe, and you do everything with blockchain and identification and security verification." Or whatever it is. "I know you. You're Carl, and you specialize in helping people with some platform like Dragon Chain or NIM or Amazon or Microsoft or whichever that you're doing." That's what you want. You want to create such an effect that people run up to you and say, "I know who you are." Right? Okay, so then let's move to networking information and factoid number 2, which is I'm going to break up my discussion here with you in regards to the different types of networking events. And I'm going to talk about like free events or near cheap events. It's like $10-20 that different people will come to, and larger events, conferences where you may have to fly someplace and get a hotel and pay money to get in, and you may be in $1,500 to $2,000 in terms of the cost for your networking events. So one of the rules that I have and I learned was, even if you don't meet anyone at a networking event, and this is for the meetup events, mind you, even if you don't meet anyone, you should walk away with something. Depending on the type of networking event that you're going to, for example, if it's a meetup or something like that, you may not run into any prospects. Depending on your niche, you may not run into any prospects for your specific niche, but that's okay. Number 1 is you may run into somebody who could potentially be a partner for you, whether it is a sales partner or a referral partner, etc. But even if you don't get that, I still say don't walk away with nothing. One of the key things that we want to do as blockchain consultants that are building 6-figure businesses is always be creating content. So I'm going to challenge you. Whichever events you choose to go to in terms of large or small events, always think about the content that you want to bring back to your community. Whether it is writing an article for your blog or for your LinkedIn account, or you are going to do a video by yourself explaining the lessons that you learned, or you're going to do an interview with somebody else, the speaker at that meetup or that presentation, and say, hey, would you, either you can do it on the spot, or you can ask them if they mind coming to your social media platform or your Zoom and doing an interview there with you. You always want to walk away with some piece of content. And in the class that we're doing, which is our marketing and budgeting class in terms of how to build a 6-figure business, we're going to talk about repurposing content and how to be able to take, for example, a video and turn it into a multimedia message, or be able to turn your article into a multimedia message. So be on the lookout for that, because that is going to be a really cool thing where you're able to take one piece of content and do all sorts of stuff with it. Okay, but that's if you're going to a small event. If you're going to a large event, and I've made this mistake before, trust me, where I've spent a couple of $1,000s and I walk in, I walk out, and I haven't met anybody that can help my business. And when you do that, when you're spending $20, you really don't care. When you do that and you're spending $2,000, you're mad. You're like, what did I come for? So anyway, if you're going to a large networking event and you're dropping a fair amount of money, and I'm going to leave the amount to you, because fair amount for one person maybe $300, and a fair amount for somebody else maybe $3,000. So I'm going to leave it to you. I say never ever walk in without a plan of who you are going to meet and what you will ask them for. Now, there are 4 people that are always at every single event. The speakers is number 1. If somebody is speaking, pretty much 90% of the time, yes, there are cancellations, but 90% of the time, the speakers are going to be there. Number 2 are the exhibitors. If somebody is exhibiting at a conference, then they are definitely going to be there, at least a rep or a couple of reps from that company. Number 3 are the sponsors. The people that have their name in lights, they will always have a rep or 2, especially if they are the title sponsors or the lead sponsors, or, have enough money in it. They will definitely have representation at that event. And then the 4th, which is a lot of times what people miss and don't think about, are the organizers. The organizers of an event will be at the event. Now, they may be running around like crazy, but they'll be there. So what can you do with this information? Like I said before, never ever go to a large event without knowing who you want to speak with and what you want from them. And I have a personal rule: for every $1,000 that I spend on a large event, I want to meet one person, and I want to know in advance why I'm going, who I'm going to meet, and for what purpose am I going to meet them? What do I want from them? So I'll give you a great example of something you can ask for, and it is actually a personal story of mine. I loved a show on MSNBC called Your Business, and JJ Ramberg was the anchor of it. She was the person that was the face of the show, and she was a speaker as well, and she wrote books and things like that. And for 5 years, I looked at that show every week, and I said, I want to be a guest on that show. I want to be a guest on that show. And for 5 years, I made every excuse in the book. Well, one day I said, excuses are over. No, I haven't lost the 30 pounds I wanted to lose. No, the hair and the makeup and all of that, all the excuses that you make as a woman. But even as a man, I'm sure you have some excuses that you may make as well for not doing something. So I contact her by Twitter. I ask her where she's going to be speaking next. She sends me a link. Long story short, $750 for the ticket to get in. And I was living in DC at the time, and it was in New York, so that meant another $300 round trip for me to get on the train back and forth to go to New York. I paid it. I ran up to her actually she was there when I got there, and I came in off the street, ran up to her, had my 30-second pitch in place, gave her a copy of my book, said, I'm Cherie, and I would love to be on your show. I've been looking at it for 5 years. I would love to be on your show. I'm sure you get asked that all the time. And you know what she said to me? You'll be surprised how few people ask me. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. People rarely asked her. Not all the time had a line, for to speak with her and ask her to be on her show. And she was on MSNBC, like major media, right? They rarely asked her. She gave me her real email address, the NBC Universal email address, not some Gmail account, right? Gave me her producer's real NBC Universal email address. Said, reach out to me. I did. I followed up. And lo and behold, I ended up on MSNBC. And today, if you go to my business plan website, you will see MSNBC featured on MSNBC. This is my point to you. That was an ask. That was the one person that I had to meet that day. The one person that I knew exactly what I wanted from them. And you know what? The other people that I met at that conference were okay. But if I had paid $1,000 to go to that conference and I did not meet JJ Ramberg and I did not have the conversation with her and I did not get on that show, I'd have been mad about my $1,000. I'm telling you the truth. So I'm sure you feel me as I'm telling this story. I know you understand what I'm talking about. So what things could you ask for? It could be a media personality that you want to do an interview and on their either social platform if they have a lot of followers, or if they are writing as a journalist for like the Huffington Post or some industry magazine that you really want to get into. That's the person that you want to meet. You may want to meet somebody that could potentially be a client. I have a client right now that I'm working with in my business plan business, and I sent him a conference. He wants to get his products on the shelves at Walmart, and I sent him a conference saying, here, the CEO of Walmart is going to be speaking the keynote at this conference. You should go. Very high level people. Guess what? He's going. Guess what? If I have anything to do with it, he will have his pitch down. He will have his information down. Oh, and this is the other key with large conferences when you start, especially with like speakers or anybody that's going to be a main presenter, or really any speaker. You need to talk to them before they give their presentation. Now, why is that? Because few people will recognize them before they give their presentation. However, after they give their presentation, the line is usually so long that you get caught up in the mix. So when I tell you the person that you want to meet with, that you want to ask for something, you need to go into that conference with, this is my top priority. Anybody that's talking to me, say excuse me to the person if you're talking to them and you see the speaker you want to connect with. But nothing takes precedence over me speaking with that person, me giving them my 30 to 60 second pitch in terms of who I am and how I think we can work together and benefit each other, and me getting that person's contact information. And if you think that's my only trick in regards to this, you are sorely mistaken, because I have more. But guess what? It's going to be shared in our class, How to Build a Six-Figure Blockchain Consulting Business. Again, the class, How to Build a Six-Figure Blockchain Consulting Business. I'm going to leave the links in the comment section of YouTube, and I hope you join us. It's going to be lit. Yes. So that is the topic of today in terms of networking, and a little bit about how to network and how to get what you want out of networking, and how to never ever leave an event absolutely empty-handed. Trust me, I've done it. I've gone to networking events with no plan, and I've left with absolutely nothing. And I am trying to save you the heartache of that mistake. So that's it for me. Thank you so much. God bless you. If you want to join the inner circle, we have an ecosystem of opportunity that we are creating. You'll find out about blockchain jobs, blockchain businesses, find teaming partners, learn how to invest in the blockchain. And I'm not talking about investing in crypto. I mean investing in blockchain businesses, build blockchain brands, and ultimately get a piece of the $3.1 trillion pie that is forthcoming in the blockchain industry. We don't want to be left behind, ladies and gentlemen. So I would encourage you, if you want to be an Inner Circle member of Black Blockchain Consultants, to check us out at blackblockchainconsultants.com. Thank you much. Have a blessed day.